Both the boys are ready. They're currently doing their vetoes. And as soon as they are done with the vetoes, we can hop into our first match of the co-main event, as we can officially call it. I have no idea what to expect between these two. I want to say that I slightly favor Spazymazy, but Protoss is just damn good at the moment. Déca has been very active. He's been asking me quite a few times to play in the BBB. Last week he said, "Did you forget about me? Are you not inviting me anymore?" I said, no, mate. If you want to play next week, you can play next week. So we made it happen. I'm going to kick things off on Golden Aura, apparently. That's a pretty good Protoss map as well. I mean, I guess we can say that about a lot of them. Shout out to Shin for gifting us up to our Finnish Terran Luolis. I still hope you had some fun, mate. I heard that you were a little frustrated after game 1, but I hope it was all still fine in the end. It's just a game. It's a fun game, but it's still just a game. Let's go ahead and do it. Golden Aura, Spazymazy versus Déca. The winner will get $100. The loser gets 25. Someone is letting me know that the Bly match is on the ESL. Who's our boy Bly playing? Well, let's take a look. Nikorak, yeah, you guys told me that already. Alright, I'll put it on my phone. I can multitask a little. Focus mostly on our PVZ. But a little bit of blind magic on the side. That won't hurt anyone.
Let's get it on.
Round 1. Fight!
The third of a 4 series tonight. In the bottom right side of Golden Aura, we're looking at the main base of the man who gave us one of the best series in 57 editions of the Big Brain Bouts. And that's not something that I would just throw around easily, but it really was an absolute banger against Mixu. From start to finish, that was fireworks. Those games were impossible to call. They were mega fun. This is BB EX Spazymazy. Unfortunately, did not make it into the regionals. I felt that he had the skill to do it. Both players did make it into the closed qualifiers, so they made it through the open qualifiers, which obviously is a start. But yeah, you have to make it through the closed qualifiers to make it into the main event. So they are officially top 48 players in Europe, but everyone wants more. In the top left side, representing GDAT, this is the French Protoss, the Déca. There are still many great French Protoss players out there. The obvious ones are obviously Drogo and DNS. And these days, I think we can absolutely mention Eric Fire as well. Even if Eric Fire has been cooling down a little over the last few months, he's still so young that he can obviously bounce back. You gave Spazy everything you knew. Opening up with the spawning pool first here, by the way. Spawning pool first, and the gas is done at 128. If I was a Protoss, I would actually be a little bit scared. And yeah, Déca's gonna go, I would say, back in, mate. Don't you want to see if the gas has been taken? Well, he's hiding the probe. That's the play, too. He is gonna open things up with the Zealot here. That's not something that players do normally, but I think based on the early spawning pool, that's a perfectly fine play. I'm glad you guys love Spazymazy so much. Razor TL just gifted us 10 buckies, saying it's nice to end a hard week with some ruddy entertainment. Thanks. That makes me happy, mate. Thank you so much. I am gonna put those 10 bucks to great use on Sunday when I go to the beautiful city of RotterdaM to hopefully watch Feyenoord win a prize. No guarantee that we do, but we are the favorite. The KNVB Beker Final. Our Dutch version of the FA Cup for English football fans. That should get us a couple beers. Neck, you're allowed to cheer for Neck here, mate. As much as I love Feyenoord, I am not a donkey. You guys are allowed to cheer for whatever you want to cheer for. You guys have your teams, I have my team. Made a better team win. I do think it's very cool that Neck has had such a good season. And actually, the last time that Feyenoord and Neck played in the cup, that was an insane game. But yeah, that's too much football. We'll save that for the stream tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll do co-streaming again, and then we can obviously talk about the weekend of football too. Déca had a safety pile in here for a split second, just to make sure that those links won't be able to break in. In the end, the links don't make it in. Even if the start was a bit different, we have a relatively normal start here to our PVZ. One gate fast expand with a Stargate halfway done. Probably gonna see a couple of adapts. I think that Déca is an Oracle into Blink Stalker boy, but maybe he's gonna switch it up. Sounds great to me, Air. You make it seem like that's a bad thing. I think that's a great thing. I'm gonna go to a different place though, because Sunday is going to be chaos in the city. Because it's obviously a big match, and a lot of people will go out to watch the game in public. You actually have to buy tickets. You have to buy tickets to enter a cafe. So I do have tickets, just not for the game, but for a certain bar in RotterdaM that I've never gone to, but seems fun. A guy from my street said he was going, that I play padel with. And I said, sure, why not, mate? Never really spent any time with him outside of playing padel, but he's a super nice dude. He likes fine art, I like fine art. The ladies are coming too. Seems like a pretty perfect Sunday to me. Déca has been able to get the third Nexus up without too many issues. Did have to do warp in a building there and protect his units, but it's all good. 11 drones on the way for Spazymazy. This is actually kind of nice what he's doing here with these links. He's giving Déca the idea that he still needs to be worried about something. This may have everything to do with the way that Spazymazy started things off. With like that earlier pool, that earlier gas. Throughout the first 5 minutes as a Protoss, you're always going to be on edge, and you want to make sure you don't miss something. We obviously see everything and we know nothing too weird is happening, but if you're Déca, it's not that easy to make those assumptions. At this point, he's confident though that he can fly to the other side of the map, activate spells at me, gets 3 drones, not bad. That is the start. Follow-up is actually Zolot charge and +1. Spazymazy, the lover of the mudas, guys. The lover of the mudas, even here in the very first game, is going to drop that spire. A single revelation would reveal it. Boom. Actually a very good flyby. Gets 4 more workers and has a perfect spot, or a perfect scout on the spire. Immediately fires up a Phoenix. We have a Templar Archives on the way as well. I'm a little worried here for Spazymazy, the man who got a lot of love and support in the chat, which made me happy. He tricked Ruddy into casting SCL. I feel like if there is one person that you don't ever have to trick, it's me. I like to think that I do more than enough things for free without asking for anything for my friends, so you really don't have to ever trick me. I think I'm the last person in the scene that you need to trick, mate. Could have just sold me and it would have been fine. Oracle takes a lot of damage, but who cares? Déca just wants to make sure that that spire is still there. He actually saw that it got cancelled. I think I like that decision. Déca, it got cancelled, mate. And you saw that. He's making another Phoenix. So we have 2 Phoenixes. He cancelled it. Yeah, okay. I think he just double checked and he's like, wait. That spire is still there, right? And now he saw that the spire is no longer there. He's like, okay, I don't need Phoenixes. As much as I love Phoenix, this is not really the moment for them. Phoenixes gain strength in numbers. But at this point, if you're building 1-2 Phoenix and your opponent is firing up 7 Hydras at a time, Phoenix is obviously not the play. Déca is dropping a fleet beacon and a second Stargate. I don't know if that's the moment. Because to me, this game seems very simple. If you have Storm and you have a Robo and you drop a second Robo and a Robo Bay, you get a couple Colossus, you have High Templars to Storm. I just don't see how you ever die. If you put all this money in these very expensive structures, there is a small chance that you do end up dying against Hydrolink Bane. Hello, Sasha. Go easy on our nerds, Sasha. They're good, but 5,800 MMR. Obviously not quite the upper echelons of European Starcraft. Yeah, it would have been a lot better for Déca to just make a second Robo, but it's okay. He still has an army. Let's see what Spazymazy can do here. Tempest, alright. I like the idea of Tempest, but it's gonna take a little while. This is where Déca truly wishes he just had a little more firepower to deal with this build that basically is an all-in, guys, because it's a lot of Hydras and Lings and Banes of 67 drones. Couple slow Banelings, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. We have not dropped a single storm yet, and we just lost one of the High Templars. We do need to start storming Déca. Déca will storm, but look at the Hydras of Spazymazy. Without any fear or respect for Protoss defenses at all, they just run deep into the natural. And to quote Tempo, in your natural, Hydras are dancing. Actually, I think Tempo said Lynx, but Oh, Déca, mate. We just missed units. Oh, such an unnecessary moment to die. Does finally have one Archon. Is trying to warp in as many Zealots as he can. But I'm afraid for the French toss that this is the end here. Or maybe the Tempest can actually make him stabilize. I mean, down 35 army supply. But Tempests are very good against Hydras. Especially if the Hydra numbers are low. Immortal, can it run towards the battery? Can it get saved? Yes, it can. Sort of is a hold, actually. And honestly, any hold, if you have a Robo, you have Storm, is fine. The problem is that he lost all of his Oracles, he lost all of his Phoenix. And Spazymazy is dropping a Spire now to maybe go Corruptus. But I actually think he could go Mutalisk here. Even if that's a little bit risky, right, against 2 Stargate with access to any Impulse Crystals. I think I would prefer Mutas over Corruptus. The Hydra looked good there. With no regard for Protoss life. It just ran in there and it stood there. Hydras don't mess around, baby. Very curious what Spazy is going to build. I want to see Mutas, to be honest. I really think Mutas are a better choice than Corruptus. I don't think we need to build... Oh, he's got 11 Corruptus. Okay. Well, that's good to kill a couple Tempests. Let's see. Now we might lose the fight on the ground, though. Let's see. Déca obviously messed up a little bit there in the defense. He lost one of the High Templars that had a crazy amount of energy. More than enough to storm once, but probably enough to storm twice. Losing that against the Bane is a little sad. Spazy has fired up the Hive. Could eventually start a Greater Spy, but that's just going to take forever. The longer he waits, the more terrifying that 3-base Déca becomes. I believe it's Fiont who said that Déca is a very annoying Protoss to play against. Because he can just sit there on 3 bases forever. And he's just going to try to create a devastating army. Corruptors are going to go for the main. They're going to use Caustic Spray at the same time. Hydras, Lings, Banes trying to make magic into the middle of a million cannons. Batteries, High Templars, Storms have potential here. Yeah, drops 2 of them in the end. Loses one of the High Templars. The main Nexus has fallen. The hold in the natural is pretty good. Is this the fight for the Corruptors, guys? I don't really know. It's definitely the fight for the Hydras, though. To quote Scarlett there, guys, the mean killing machine is kind of doing it again here, gunning down every single High Templar. Déca's having a very hard time keeping those alive. He's lost 6, guys, 6 High Templars. It's obviously okay to lose 1 or 2 if you want to land like great storms, but I think a lot of those High Templars were savable if you just morph them into Archons. Or move them back a tiny bit further. Spazy is on Hive Tech, fires up a couple Vipers. Don't often see a Zerg containing a Protoss with this kind of an army comp. Hydras, Lings, and Corruptors are gonna go for it one more time. Coco's Overcharge should be ready. I don't know if we're gonna see it. And that's a sweet storm, by the way. That's one of the better storms that he has dropped. The Hydras are doing their thing. Corruptors getting on top of Tempest. The storm lands on a couple of these Corruptors. I do feel that these Immortals will never die, especially not near Battery Overcharge. Right, when I say that, 3 of them disappear, so apparently they do. As Battery Overcharge was too busy healing up the Tempest. At least something is staying alive for Déca. These are very strange fights, I'm not gonna lie. It's a bit of a Protoss meat grinder that this Zerg army is running in. Well, Spazy says, you know what, Roddy, I'm cooking, mate. 85 drones, 5 bases. I just don't give a fuck. Well, sure, I guess, but he really has no bank. I kind of feel if you want to make these kinds of attacks and go for these kinds of trades, we're gonna need a 6 base. And ideally like 10 more drones. Does get one of the Tempests there. And Déca's like, you know what, I keep on losing everything besides my Tempest. I'm just gonna continue building Tempest. Tempest and cannons on 3 bases. That is not something that I thought I was gonna see today. The Big Brain Boys lost to the Big Brain Bouts tournament. I have no idea what you're telling me, Aridian. Who won, by the way, between Bly and Nicaragua, guys? Is it over or is it just 1-0? I like how Déca is just getting all the Protoss stack on 3 bases. The only thing that we're missing is the Robo Bay. Spazy is checking for hidden bases, by the way, where he's probably like, there's no way that you're just okay with being a 3-base Protoss for 14 minutes and building Tempest, High Templars, cannons, and batteries. Deca's like, no, that's actually exactly what I'm doing. That's it, mate. There's nothing else to it. Spazy's gonna give it another shot. It does land an abduct on the Archon. The Archon does get healed up by the battery for a little while, but in the end it will fall. The Dark Shrine is online, guys. Do we have any Overseers? Yes, we do. Just one of them at home. Oh. Double abduct on an Archon is going to be good enough to guarantee the kill. Spazy is now going up to that 6th base, and I really would like to see a few more drones. I feel like he's making life a tiny bit harder on himself by staying on the drone count he currently is at. Wait, is it DTs that are killing drones? Where are they? Over here? Yep. A DT at the bottom side of the map, and at the same time Déca says, this is my moment. While you are busy cleaning up DTs at home, I'm gonna see if I can move out and finally take that 4th base. Has landed a couple of feedbacks. The corruptor count is so freaking high. But is there enough on the ground? Yes, the Lings are gonna show up. They don't have Adrenal Glands, by the way. I just checked for that. Archon battery overcharge for the win, straight out of the cinematic. Well, Space is building so many spires, by the way. What are we doing over here? It's like the 3rd spire that I've seen. You're really not that rich. Now, the greatest spire is almost online, but yeah, we do already have a pretty good answer against Brood Lords. And that is that double Stargate fleet beacon setup. And Déca did just lose a bunch of his Tempest. I feel like there is a world where Spazy actually loses this game. That'd be a very sad world. Would be a world that I don't think a lot of Zerg players really want to be a part of. It's time that Spazy gets a much bigger victory than he's been able to get over these last 4 minutes of attacking into 3-base Déca. This 3-base Déca is about to become 4-base Déca. Corruptors are going to go for the Tempest one more time. The first one falls, the second one falls, no more storms remaining. So it comes down to the Hydra. Some people say that that looks scary. Some others would say that it has never looked better for the Swarm. If it's just the Hydra remaining, guys, is that everything that your little Zerg heart could ever wish for? Apparently it is. Nexus gets cancelled, all the High Templars are gone, a few more probes fall, simulators get picked off, and now we've got the Broodlord transition finally. It's important that he doesn't morph everything into Broodlords, by the way. What about an Overseer here? Hello? We have 2 Overseers, none of them are... Stop bleeding out Hydras! I want to say it's important that we don't morph all of our Corruptors into Broodlords, because then the Stargates could just crank out more Tempest, or even like a quick Void Ray, right? Just to get something going. We are witnessing a Zerg that has been trying to kill a Protoss for the last 9 minutes straight. 3-base Déca. 126 supply after 18 minutes. He says I've got cannons, shield batteries, Tempest, a couple High Templars, and a Dream. Triple Tempest is going to be very good. So important that Tempest survive. Battery overcharge is monstrous here. Bad fight for the Corruptors, guys. Really, really, really bad fight for the Corruptors. Oh no, Spazy. I mean, he's probably fine, but you really don't want to keep on doing this. Because I feel like eventually Déca's is going to aim move him with 100 army supply on the other side of the map. That Cybernetics score is in serious trouble, though. Denying +2 would be awesome. So many brutes are falling. At least something killed the Cybercore, so that is nice. Still a 40+ army supply lead on the side of Spazymazy, but the Tempest are putting in serious work, and the Lings and Hydras just running into a meat grinder. As the Archons and Immortals would just live for days. Maybe Coco's second overcharge could come into play here. I think Spazy is going to lose every single unit here. Oh my goodness. Thank the Lord that he's rich. Yeah, if the Tempest will just go for the Broodlords now, all of those brutes will fall. Broodlords got a lot faster this patch, but they are still not all that quick. Well, good news for Spazymazy, guys, that the main base is completely mined out. The natural, completely mined out. So Déca is now an 0.5 base Protoss. That's all he's got. We have half a base of Protoss income. And as good as some of those Protoss units performed near cannons and batteries, I think they will be very vulnerable away from those cannons and batteries. And we are about to witness that. Spacey never got adrenal glands, by the way, but I don't think it's going to matter. Déca cannot go up to 4 bases. This is going to be his Waterloo, I believe some people call it. Right? Is that where things went wrong for Napoleon a long time ago? And he's French, actually, so that works. GG gets called after 19 minutes. And donating a whole bunch of Zerg units. 25 Corruptors, 98 Hydras. It is good enough for Spazymazy as he takes the 1-0 lead. You had games where Déca mined out all first of the 3 bases and still didn't move out. I would say that at one point, instead of being happy with like your 4 or 5 base setup of 70 something drones, just go up to like 6+ bases, make it 7 for all I care. Get 95 drones, and then you can donate as many units as your Zerg heart desires. But taking some of these fights in range of cannons, batteries, storms, immediate reinforcements when you're at like 70 something workers is actually kind of scary. I do think that Déca was actually in a good spot initially. And if instead of dropping that fleet beacon and the second Stargate, if he would have just gone for a Robo Bay and a second Robo, I don't see a world where he loses against Hydraling Bane. It really would have been a much better choice. And also I think a very easy style to execute. He scouted the Spire initially. He saw the Spire got cancelled, so he kind of knew what was up. Knew about the Hydras and the Banes. It was just not really the moment to drop a fleet beacon in a second Stargate. Hello, 2Beer.
Round 2, fight!
Took a little while, costed him an arm and a leg, but he has taken the 1-0 lead in the co-main event of the BASILISK Big Brain Bouts number 57. It is the Danish Zerg who played one of the best series we've ever had against Mixu a couple weeks ago. He's back, he wants more, and he's on track, on path to win $100. It's Spazymazy. And oh my, what the hell is even that in the bottom right side, but not building his first pylon in the bottom right side, but he's going up against full first, and that has to be a disaster. We are looking at the main base of our French Protoss, down 0-1, played that campaign mission of surviving for as long as he could. It's Déca. It's not going to be the flower, but it will be one of Coco's other specials. A 2-gate forge. And then will Spazymazy figure out what is happening? He's actually moving the Overlord back a little. Gonna see this probe. A D classic. A Déca classic. I didn't know that Déca did this in this matchup, to be fair. I've seen some games of Déca throughout the last few years, but I did not know that he was a 2-gate forge enjoyer. Let's see how this one goes. Spazymazy has his Overlord here. Has no idea yet that this is happening. He's actually going to build a drone here. So he made 2 lings and then he fired up a drone. Does not know yet. Does seem like he's a little suspicious. You told him about it, that he could potentially expect this. Well, he's going to be very grateful. He's going to see that probe right now, and now he's going to see the Zealots. I don't know if taking this base is the right call. Okay. That's a very unfortunate moment. He's going to cancel it immediately, but that means he still lost 75 minerals. 2 Zealots are going to get on top of this hatchery. And Déca, there's going to be creep here, no? Can you cannon? I guess you can cannon like here or here or something. Cannons are going to be in a very weird spot, though. He wants to get one here, but he won't be able to get one here. Yeah, this is actually looking pretty promising for Déca. Spazymazy has a decent amount of links, but not enough to fight 3 Zealots and a probe. And the probe is actually very useful to fight Zerglings here, because that will reduce the amount of hits it takes for Zealots to kill a Zergling. Spazymazy's been very, very indecisive on how he wants to deal with this. Does he want to counterattack? Does he want to expand? Does he want to save the hatch? He's going for some spines. He's going to move the spines forward. And Déca is going to try to get a cannon up in his own mineral line. This cannon does not protect this gas, by the way, so you could attack the gas from like here. Obviously, if you attack it here, it will be in range of the cannon, but here it will not be. Spazy running around with a couple Zealots trying to maybe unpower the 2 gates. Spazy, you can actually go for this gas. And I would say against a Stargate, that's pretty useful. It looks pretty good for Déca at this point. As weird as this game is, it looks pretty damn good. Roach is also not really the play here, no? Because you just cannot do anything with the roaches. I mean, yeah, you can kill the cannon and then still try to expand, I guess, but I'd not be very happy with this spot if I was Spazymazy. The one cannon that he actually let finish is in a very weird position, because now you can't even attack the queen. In the end, Déca will just say, you know what, I'm gonna expand. If you lose the 2 gates here in the pylon, though, how do you play it from here on out? Actually does not make a Void Ray, makes an Oracle. Such a bizarre game. I'd almost say that it's pretty much guaranteed that you're going to lose these 2 gates and the pylon. You just can't really save it, right? Recall has already been used. So do you now go for mass air, like 2nd Stargate, 3rd Stargate? Because I think trying to go back into a ground army is so freaking painful if you lose 2 gates, a pylon and a forge. And you've also lost this pylon too. Then I don't know if the start is even all that great. I think legitimately the best thing you can do here, and this supply block by the way has been freaking gnarly, is you just go all out on Stargate. Like you play triple Stargate, spam some Phoenix, take the game from there. Phoenix into carriers or something. If Déca just wants to go back into ground tools, I actually think I still like the game for Spazymazy, and that should never be the case. He's not gonna cancel the Nexus, I don't believe in that, but might get some workers here to be fair. Because Déca only has oracles, and the oracles are not at home. The corrosive balls won't connect. I'm gonna have to definitely activate the pulsar beam here. A couple of corrosive balls will connect with the Zerglings. I don't think that's quite what they were looking for. Actually, a bad attack by Spazymazy in the end, just doesn't get anything. Ay. And now we're gonna be forced to make more defensive Zerg units, even if we have a spine. But these units can now run to the other side of the map, and they can get on top of this hatch and maybe cancel the hatch. Oh. What the hell is this game? That guy is now in a good spot again. Yeah, before that donation, I really don't think he was in a good spot. I did not like the game for him all that much. He has no Twilight Council, he's got no gateways, he's got nothing that's gonna be powerful. Yeah, after all of those Zerglings and Rev just got donated for nothing, then I like it a little bit more for Déca. Before that, I did not actually like his position at all. Now it's just a mega strange game, but Spazymazy, his queen count is low compared to how normally a 4, 5, 6 minute game would look like. And that's obviously problematic because you need queens to keep those oracles at bay. And now it feels like it's just a matter of time before more oracles activate pulsar beam, more drones will fall, and Déca is gonna get further and further ahead. Could have probably gotten a cancel on this hatchery. I really think if he would have gone for it immediately with everything, there's a decent chance he gets a cancel there. Now the queen count is a little bit higher, and Déca is actually going to use his 2nd recall of the game. Leaves one of the adepts behind. Bit of an odd recall, because why were we even there? We didn't want to lose those units, but it's all good. Spazy in back-to-back games is going to drop the Spire as he fires up +1 melee. This is the most bizarre ZVP of this level that I've seen in a while. Because we're 8 minutes into this game, but I feel like we have less stuff going for ourselves than we normally have at minute 5. Will Déca go Zealot Charge again first here? Or is he going to go Blink this time around? Because he has been warping in Stalkers, so I guess we go Blink. These links are going to be very annoying, and I actually think Déca has to turn around. If you don't turn around, you're going to lose a lot of workers here. He's going to go for the drone drill, but then you also, I think, potentially going to lose a couple of workers. Well, Spazy is doing a great job here with very, very little. He's just working with the straps that we're giving to him after this awful start. And he says, you know what? 12 links. I can keep my opponent busy. I can keep him occupied. I can keep him at home. Shouldn't really be working, but it is kind of working. And no, look at this. Every single time the Déca steps away, the links show up again. If I was Déca, I'd be fuming at this point. Yeah, it absolutely makes sense that the game is as weird as this. Déca now drops a second Stargate. That is a very bizarre decision because he actually hasn't seen the Spire at all. He hasn't seen anything, I guess, other than Lings and those roaches initially, but I don't really understand why you would ever build a second Stargate here. He needs supply block. What will we do? 4 oracles are going to fly to the other side of the map. He will now see the Mutas and will be very, very happy that he's building a second Stargate. He also has Blink Stalkers. He needs to start building Phoenix. The Muta count is going to be pretty freaking high though. Like, I don't know how good one Phoenix at a time is going to be against all these Mutalisks of Spazymazy, who's about to get +1 melee on the Zerglings as well. Déca's actually in trouble. Blink is not quite done yet. Stalkers without Blink, they suck. Not even those 3 extra Stalkers are going to save you here. He's going to lose Stalkers. He's going to lose probes. Shield battery overcharge could get activated. Maybe we can go for the battery here. That's exactly what the Mutas are going to go for. And I think after that they need to go for that Phoenix. Maybe turn around and go for the Phoenix. That's exactly the play that Spazymazy makes. And he gets the kill. And Déca is just in trouble. Not dead, but definitely in trouble. Lings are now going to get on top of the shield battery. Probes were not responding. Oracles need to activate Pulsar Beam, and they will. Seems that the Mutalisks did fly over the Stalkers. It could be worse for Déca. It's not great, but it could be worse. Hello? That's not a great move by Space. Now it's actually kind of good again for Déca. Because now he's got 4 Phoenix against the man who only has a couple of Lings and Mutas. Oh, Spacey, that was a bit of a mistake, mate. We do have slow banelings wiggling into a mineral line. And they get a little connect, mate. All of those probes are so vulnerable at the moment. Whew. They are so free. Oh, they come back. The probes come back, but the banelings are here. It's slow banelings, though. I don't know about... maybe a bit too early to do that. That guy is floating some money. I think he's not totally certain what he wants to make. Spacey is going to sneak out 9 more drones. Proper clown fiesta of a game here between 2 guys that are high ranked on the ladder. That is kind of playing a very strange game too. No baneling speed yet, so I guess we're going to try with slow banes one more time. Stalkers do blink forward, gun down one of the Corruptors. Stasis Trappies have been dropped. Stasis Trappy number 1. Oh, but the other ones don't actually keep the slow banes at bay. We've got Stalkers, we've got Phoenix, we've got Oracle, so he's fine. Definitely feels that Spazymazy is a little bit quicker. He is getting a lot more done with very little than Déca is. Déca is in an alright spot here if he can just start spending his money, man. He's sitting at 1900 minerals, guys. 1900 minerals and 1000 gas for the man from France. If he spends that money, he's cooking, and he will have an army that looks invincible. Maybe indeed a Dark Shrine or a Templar Archives, right? Like anything to start spending that money. Maybe he's just a little bit overwhelmed because Spacey is indeed the faster player between the two. And he's making life hell on him. Déca's got so little vision, by the way, man. Like, I cannot imagine playing Starcraft like this. I'm a pretty lazy player myself, and I don't have too much vision, but I will always at least put an observer here or there. Spread out a random unit, fly around with Phoenix or anything. Like, Déca just sees nothing. But yeah, Fionn did tell me that this is kind of how he plays. Where he's just completely okay with sitting on 3 bases forever. And his game plan is create a dream Protoss army on 3 bases. And against Spazymazy, that might not be the worst game plan ever. Stalkers are in a bit of a pickle though. Maybe it's time for a recall. I don't know if he can recall. He's not going to do that. He will just blink back. Banelings are going to roll forward. Probes, where are they running to? Running towards the cannon. Running towards the Stasis Trappy. Nice pylon warp in. Love that play. But that's not necessarily going to save us against a million freaking Zerglings. And the Banelings are still here as well. I don't know what to look at. There's so many fights. The Stalkers are winning the fight against the Mutas and the Corruptors. But that Nexus is dead. Most of the probes that were mining from that Nexus are dead. Are gone. Fallen. In the Zerg grave. Ooh, weird forward blink there. It's actually going to give more surface area for these links to work around with. I think all that Spazymazy really needs to do is just go home and crank out as many Zerglings as humanly possible. And Lings alone with +2 melee. That will be good enough. An incredibly chaotic fight there, but Déca just not doing a good enough job in spending that cash. At this point, Bailing speed is done, +2 melee is done. Stalkers are gonna get obliterated here, guys. This is a dream fight for Zerglings. Oh my. If you are a Zerg player, this fight has gotta spark some joy. GG gets called. Spazymazy wins game 2 as well. That started off with a 2-gate Forge proxy. Was a 1-base Zerg for a while. Made an attack with a couple of Roaches, Ravages, Zerglings up the ramp inside Delta. It felt that he was in a horrible spot. Déca even dropped a blind second Stargate without seeing a Spire, without seeing Mutas. Maybe he just thought, alright, I know A, you love Mutas, and B, the only thing I've seen other than those Roaches in the very beginning of the game are Zerglings. You're not showing me anything else. I just see Zerglings, so maybe he just felt that a second Stargate was the right play. Yeah. Great performance by Spazymazy so far, and this kind of seems like he's a slightly better player, but the fights were close in game 1, the fights were close in game 2, so series is definitely not over yet. And if you are the man from Denmark, you gotta feel pretty good about your chances right now to win 100 buckies. Déca's gonna have 3 gates and 3 forges. Well, obviously he lost that one forge, but yeah. I didn't hate the decision to go double forge. I just think he could have done it a lot quicker. Like 3 base Protoss is decent, but it really doesn't give you that much income. So there is just no moment ever where you can be at 120 or 130 supply and be sitting on 1900 minerals, 900 gas. Like, that's just too much. And of course your life is hell because there is a Zerg in your face who's going for run by after run by and is harassing you, but you gotta be able to spend that money a little bit better. I also do think with the start he had, he should have just played Mass Air, honestly. I feel like you're cooking with Mass Air. Well, going back into ground, it just takes forever after you lose your first 2 gates. But okay.
Round 3. Fight.
This man will not care. He's going to be more than happy with his own performance so far, and rightfully so. Taking the 2-0 lead, our Danish Zerg player. Looking for another dub on the Friday night. This is going to be his favorite event at this point. It's a Spazymazy. Against this man, a French Protoss player that we did invite once already a little while ago. Maybe even 2 times. I kind of forgot about it, but it was his time. He sent me a couple of DMs. He said, Roddy, why are you not inviting me? I said, alright, man. You're in. Let's see who we can find for you. And I found him, Spazymazy. Not sure if he's happy with it. Representing GDAT, this is Déca. Throughout the entire series, Spazy has gone spawning pool first. Maybe that is because he knows that Déca likes to go for something like a 2-gate forge, or he's worried about another build that could potentially be thrown his way. Don't know exactly what it is. This is really kind of poor for your Zerg economy, especially if you make 6 or even more Zerglings as well. It takes a little while before everything gets going. Even has pretty early. Well, this one is not that early, but you have 16 drones and 3 of them are mining gas. Obviously, one of them became an extractor. Not the best way to start off economically, but maybe he just kind of likes what this forces out of the Protoss. Perhaps a quicker wall off than a Protoss player would like, forcing them to make a Zealot. I personally have no issue making a Zealot, but maybe someone like Déca does. And one Zealot may not actually be enough here. You're gonna have to move this Zealot. You're gonna have to do a little dance where you're like, I'm gonna fight, just kidding. I'm gonna fight, just kidding. I'm gonna fight, just kidding. If you don't do that, I guess you can just cancel this gate. Need to cancel it, though. Cancel. Whoa, that was a last minute cancel. Whew. 6 safe. Kinda thought he was gonna donate 150 minerals there, and that would have been problematic. Bly and Nicorocta are having one hell of a series. Zergling speed more than halfway done for our Danish man. This Spazymazy. This is going up to 3 bases. Déca probably gonna go oracles once more into either Zealot Charge, or I would kind of like to see something very different from him. Maybe just straight up glaives and try to be aggressive, because Spazy loves making links. And maybe he drops a safety roach one, maybe not, but it's pretty obvious that Spazy rather makes Zerglings than roaches. So actually trying to take a fight against a man like that with a bunch of adepts with resonating glaives, I think be a pretty solid choice. And 1 oracle into a quick Twilight Council into 4 gate adept glaive. I think it'd be kind of good. Déca says, well, Roddy, this is also a map where I can just chill on 3 bases. I've got rocks. All I have to do is mine on a couple minerals. I'm gonna sit on 3 bases. Perfectly legal maneuver, so let's see how it goes. Déca had a pretty promising start in that first game on Golden Aura. Like, we almost forget about it when you're just watching a best of 5 and you're in game 3 and you've seen some of the interactions between the 2 players where Spazy looks a bit quicker and turns a very rough start of game 2, a very weird game obviously, still into a victory. But game 1, Déca basically did everything right in the beginning. The adepts were good, the oracles were fantastic, kept them alive, scouted the spire. Not really a whole lot more you can ask for. And unfortunately he died because he put all of his money in stuff like Stargates, fleet beacons, air upgrades. But all he really had to do was make some immortals, archons, maybe a colossus or a disruptor, but just high templars with storm, archons, zealots and immortals would have probably been fine. Was up in workers, was even in bases, like there was no reason to lose that game. I'm not sure if he sees these Zerglings. He should see these Zerglings, as we're going to see another Spire. Déca has seen this a little bit late. He's going to see that there is a gap here, but by the time he's realizing it, poor Déca did not see all these Zerglings stream to the bottom side of the map. This is just turning into a nightmare best of 5 for our French Protoss, who got close to 6,000 MMR a while ago. And tonight it just really does not seem to be his night. That is something he could have seen. Obviously was busy at home, was warping in something right, chrono boosting or firing up an upgrade, whatever it was. And that's a painful loss. Those links were very effective and will probably continue to be effective. We've got a Spire more than halfway done, but we also dropped the Hydralisk Den, so Déca is now going to spot the Hydra Den. Oh, this could actually work against him. Oh my god, he hasn't seen the Spire yet. Where is the Spire anyway? Is it all the way in? It's all the way. Maybe he does see it. Sorry. He should see it. Never mind. I'm an idiot, guys. I think that revelation was good enough to see it. No. What? What? Guys. That has to be the most unlucky revelation ever. He does not actually see it there. And what he does see is the Hydralisk Den. So now he's probably convinced that this is Hydra Link Bane. This time around the oracles go in real deep. 1 oracle does fall. He will spot the Spire. Drops the second Stargate now, but that's late. That is late. Queues up a Phoenix, goes for any Impulse Crystals as well, or like way down the line. First the Fleet Beacon, then any Impulse Crystals. Let's see. Does not have Blink, don't forget about that. Like, basically has no anti-air at the moment. Has 1 Archon. Archon is going to defend the 3rd. That's going to be very useful against Zerglings. These Mutas are going to cause a world of pain. They'll go to town on these probes very quickly, and a lot of workers are going to fall. The Lynx are kind of getting donated. Bad fight for the Zerglings. Great fight for the Mutalisk. They're going to now battle the Archon. I don't know. That's maybe the one unit that I wouldn't battle, but Spazymazy says, alright, if that's the only thing that's really shooting up, I want to kill that too. We're going to get a couple Phoenix out now. I don't know how good the Phoenix micro is of Déca. The answer is maybe not that great, as he loses the first Phoenix, almost loses the second. Loses a High Templar as well. Does manage to drop a little Storm. Just my final act before I leave this planet forever and become an immortal and live happily ever after on Ire. Poor Déca. Incredibly unlucky revelation. Is now just kind of dead. There's no other way to put it. Spazymazy is putting on a clinic. A lot of you guys often say that you missed the Muda, you missed the Spire play in PvZ. Maybe you're not going to see it at the absolute highest level. Maybe you cannot play Mutalisk against the likes of ShoWTime and MaxPax very often. But hey, on the level right below that, it's probably going to be higher than many of us will ever get. You can still make some magic happen. Déca is a good Protoss, 5,800 MMR I think on average. It turns out that even at that MMR you can still make the Mutalisk shine. You can just trick your opponent a little, get effective, get good with the Zerglings. It's a really brutal series. Spazymazy is ready to end it once and for all with a couple of slow banelings, but slow banes will still connect, will still deal damage. The Phoenix is going to lift up as many Hydras as they can, but the Banes are finding their targets. Probes are falling. A lot of them are low on HP as well. Another High Templar got stuck there at the very edge of the map. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I'm afraid that this is it. There is nothing to deal with them Zerglings anymore. Great series for Spazymazy as he just gets another W. I feel like he's 3-0 right now in the Big Brain Bouts. He beat Foxer, he beat Mixu. Who else is he gonna beat? Spazymazy is just an animal. Maybe we should give him better opponents. Alright, next up, Spazy, you're gonna get the big man himself. Roddy's gonna pick up the mouse one last time and try to make Spazymazy play a tough series. GG gets called. Strong performance by the man from Denmark. Kudos. Hello, Platoon. Hello from Belarus. Privet. Privet. Are you here to support your man Salamander? Yeah, we've got a very unique and different main event coming up tonight. Obviously, the level is not quite as high as we often see it in the BASILISK Big Brain Bouts, but Salamander and Hydra are two really good players. And I also thought that guys like that deserve some love as well. They also deserve the chance to play for $150 once for the win. And we have the ESL Spring Regionals happening right now, so all the big boys are focusing on the regionals. Why not give a chance to players like Hydra and Salamander to win $150? I think I liked it when I made the match. I was like, you know what? Why not just go different? Why not just give them the main event one time? And decided to roll with it. I feel like these games could be very fun, could be very chaotic, could be very unpredictable, so I hope it's going to be a good time. Shout out to Basilisk for A, running the Basilisk Big Brain Bouts number 57, and B, giving us 10 more subbies. Spazymazy, 69% of y'all believed in him. Well, he didn't just win, he dominated. There's no other way to put it. And that means that it's time for the main event. For the first time ever, I believe, we're going to take a look at Salamander. I want to make sure that I write his name correctly, because he writes it different. But that's how you say it, guys. Salamander. I was good, no? I feel like I was good. Was I good? I was good. Look at me. Salamander versus Hydra. BBB number 57 main event. $200 series. Will it be Salamander, their Belarusian? I apparently cannot do Bel because that's for Belgium. So what is Belarus, guys? Is it BER? No. Like this? BLR? Would that be the abbreviation of Belarus? BLR? Sick. Got it. A Belarusian Terran player with very crazy and unique builds versus the Dutchman. That is Hydra, of course, a Dutch Protoss player. Both of these guys, I think on their best days, are very close to 6,000 MMR. I'm ready for it. The winner gets $150. The loser gets 50. As far as I know, Salamander is wild, is crazy, and has a lot of unique stuff. And it's going to come the way to Hydra. I'm excited for it. BY on cars, actually. All right. Then next time it's going to be BY Salamander. I'll take a little break, 3 minutes. I'll go find the guys on Battle.net, tell them that they can go ahead and do their videos, start up their hosting and whatnot. And I should be back in 3 or 4 with the main event of the Basilisk Big Brain Bouts number 57. Brought to you by Basilisk.